you did a video yesterday where you talked about Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
and sort of the need to
Replace most.
replace Raheem Mostert.
Yes.
Um, and I do think that that's something that they might try to do in the draft. And the name that I know a lot of people are sort of enamored with right now, and people have been sort of penciling in for us, is Pierre Strong from
He's fast.
South Dakota State, who's fast.
Yeah. Fast.
And to my untrained eye, I actually see him being a little redundant with Elijah Mitchell. They both ran sub 4.4. Mitchell actually has a slightly faster time, but his was at a pro day, I think, whereas Strong's was a combine time.
Yes.
But like they're 4.3 guys ostensibly.
Yeah.
But when I watch Strong, it's kind of the same thing as Mitchell, where that speed doesn't really pop on tape.
Yeah.
And especially for Strong, he's an FCS guy, and so you'd really expect to see him just like cooking guys. And he's fast. He's not really getting caught from behind, but he that speed doesn't really pop. And again, another similarity to Mitchell, he's got like pretty good contact balance. He's running, like an arm tackle is not going to bring him down. But at the same time, I don't see any like real twitch from him. He's kind of stiff. I actually think Mitchell's like a little more elusive than him, which, no offense to Mitchell, like I don't think that's saying a whole lot. And if we are going to take a running back, and assuming there's not like a true burner to try to replace Mostert, your guy Kruger, I was watching his mock draft with. He did like dueling mock drafts with John Chapman yesterday, and he turned me on to Damian Pierce from Florida.
Okay.
And I think he's an interesting prospect. He's not necessarily that guy who's going to like get the edge and take off. He's not that. But I do think that he adds another different piece to the running back room that's really, really useful. He's crazy strong. So he would be like the perfect short yardage back. He's a guy who can really power through for, pick up like 2 yards. He has surprisingly good hands. So he offers you something as like a bit of a third down back too. He's someone that, the defense is going to have to respect and commit someone to even in short yardage. You can't just assume that he's in there to crush you. Yeah.
Let's stop real quick because I disagree with you on, to me, the Niners need an explosive perimeter runner. Like if you have burst to the edge, it's like 7 yards without getting touched because of Trent Williams and George Kittle, or, Mike McGlinchey and George, like basically Kittle. Kittle seals that edge so freaking well that if you have Mostert or Debo burst, man, it's just a free 7 yards. And I think the Niners really, really benefited from that when they went to the Super Bowl, and they need to replace that. So who you're saying is great. I mean, I think Elijah Mitchell can do a lot of that too. The guy I like is James Cook. This guy, let me sell you on James Cook. All right. So he only ran.
I'm sold on James Cook. I just think that where he goes is not going to be where we should be taking a running back.
Where does he go? Second round?
I think a team could take him in the second. I don't think he makes it to our comp picks.
Okay. You think he's there at 91?
At 61?
No, 93. Sorry, 93.
Or 93. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe, but again, like I don't want to
trade up for a running back like last year. Hold on, let me sell you on James Cook. Well, let me just sell everyone on James Cook real quick. So when you watch him, you see him run a lot of toss plays, kind of like what the Niners do here. But what the Niners need is not just like Elijah Mitchell ran a 4.3 whatever. But I think what's really important is the 10-yard split, because you got to get to the edge really freaking fast. And Raheem Mostert, I don't know what Elijah Mitchell's 10-yard split is. Raheem Mostert's 10-yard split was 1.49. Debo's is 1.53. James Cook's is 1.46. He's got a very explosive burst to the edge. I think he'd be really helpful. I think he would replace what they lost with Raheem Mostert. So
yeah,
I mean, I'd take him in round 3. I'm not against it because I never understood the fit with Trey Sermon. What?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that that's a little too soon for some of the other needs and just
Yeah,
how deep this class is. Like if we can get like a Daxton Hill or Nick
yeah,
Cross or something at 93, I think
yeah.
that's just more important, especially because I do think that, and I think Vish is really on this. I think Ray McLeod, or is that his name?
Yeah, yeah. He'll
I
play a little
think
running back probably.
yeah, I think he's going to be more of the outside zone guy, and maybe, like you said, like on a toss, like maybe not a true toss, but something where he's like in motion already. I think can kind of replace that. And so for me, the Florida back, like I know it's like not what you, I agree. Like I think that that's like something a style that needs to be replaced. I just if we were to take a running back, where I think we should take a running back, which is probably in the late rounds,
Later,
I
yeah.
think that's a guy who can come in and be part of a committee and offer something that we don't have. So
The funny thing with the Niners is like Mike Shanahan showed that you can get running backs late. Kyle Shanahan keeps trying to get running backs early and failing, but it is a running back driven team. The running backs are extremely important on this team, and the Niners haven't. We all talk about, well, they haven't found the right quarterback. They haven't found the right running back. I mean, look at all the guys they've gone through. They went through Carlos Hyde, Alfred Morris, Matt Breida. Finally stumbled upon Raheem Mostert, but he got hurt. And then they're back in the woods looking at Jeff Wilson Jr., Tevin Coleman, Elijah Mitchell, who's pretty good but gets hurt a lot, Trey Sermon, like Jerick McKinnon. If they could just get this right, I mean, I wouldn't care where they drafted the guy. Like the Browns drafted Nick Chubb in round 2. They don't have to worry about that anymore. He's a great player. Just saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, and I think Cook could definitely be that. I guess my
Or Saquon.
or
I yeah.
maybe Saquon. He
Saquon.
scares me a little bit.
Would you
Just the
rather
injury history.
spend a third-round pick on James Cook or trade it for Saquon?
Cook.
Yeah.
Because the money too.
Yeah.
Because Barkley's going to be expensive, relative to his position. But yeah, I guess my big point was I think Strong, where he's probably going to go, people are going to be disappointed because it's like we're going to have 2 Elijah Mitchells, which like
Yeah.
isn't terrible, but I don't he's not he doesn't have that speed that pops. He's not like Debo I think is a
Yeah.
great example of someone who like I don't care what his 40 time is.
Yeah.
That run in Dallas in the wild card game,
Yeah.
he splits 2 defenders in the second level, and it's like that's just
The only other person who could do that was Mostert. And frankly, Mostert was probably a little better. Debo got shut down in Green Bay and against the Rams the last 2 playoff games. I don't know if a healthy Mostert would have got shut down, but so Debo can do that a few times a game. They got to find a real replacement for it, in my opinion. And I wonder how Mostert's going to do in Miami. Curious. If he's healthy, wow, that offense is going to be fast.
They're a fun team in the first 10 yards.
Yes, absolutely. And 2 is the limiting factor. Thanks for calling in, man.